Okay, so two things. I'm still shook up about yesterday's manga chapter. And two, upon further thinking about it, something occurred to me. And I should have probably brought more attention to this. Sunday was Pi Day, March 14th, 3.14. And yesterday was the Ides of March. Because, that's the tragedy of Julius Caesar. I just thought about it. On Pi Day, you eat too much pie, and because you're sick from that, that's how the Ides of March get you the next day. I just figured it out. Go me. Oh, I don't know. Some March humor, I guess. Anyway, what was my low, my high, my act of kindness? I would say that my low was, well, pretty much as everyone in my area was lied about. It was supposed to start getting warmer, and it was the opposite of that. Not fun. My high was I actually got to, see my dad, my grandma yesterday. That was always really cool. And my act of kindness was I actually did an errand for my dad. And I went well, everything's cool. So, that said, good morning and happy Tuesday, everyone. If you're watching this, then you clearly have survived the Ides of March, and so you were beware of them. That's another thing I'm sad about too. I didn't do my usual thing. Well, I guess I have to wait until next year to say, beware the Ides of March. Even though I just did that now. And whatever, I got it over with, it's cool. So, man, sometimes it still feels kind of weird that, we're still in, spring is, right there, and we're still, and it still feels like it's going to be cold. Sadly, it's still going to be cold even after spring begins. I mean, when I was a little kid, I fell for the whole, sort of cartoon thing where the first day of spring, it's immediately warm. That's not even really the case at all. It's hardly ever the case at all. I mean, there was one time, in fact, no kidding, Easter took place in April of 2014, and it, blizzarded that day. Just a massive, blizzard with, white everywhere. It was unbelievable. In fact, the blizzard started right as my father and I were about to reach our family's place for brunch. Yeah, sometimes, I doubt we're doing anything this year. If we were actually doing something for brunch this year, I think I would already know. Well, not necessarily. I mean, it's still kind of early. Give it about at least another week and a half, I guess, before I would learn anything. I have to think about that. Well, some things are still, more or less the same. I'm just trying to think. I know I said at the beginning of this month that, things are going to start to pick up, and we do have, some big events coming up. And it really does amaze me that, we're already there almost. I mean, yeah, I know I should have brought more attention to both Pi Day and the Ides of March on Sunday and Monday, respectively. But, they happen, so we're already there. St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow, which I'm very excited for, because the next day, for sure, there's going to be a Mom Food Chronicle. Actually, you know what? Now I just realized. Today was supposed to be Mom Food Chronicle Day, wasn't it? Well, yeah, you know what? Why not? So, with that said, the Mom Food Chronicle. See, without question, one of the most easily ready, yet some like upper middle tier on expensive items that's an appliance you can have in your household is quite easily the slow cooker. And years ago, when my mom first got one, she completely went to town. There are so many mom foods that she's made over the years. I mean, I already touched upon one the other day when I talked about roasted chicken. But she's made stuff like mac and cheese in there before. She's made beef stew in there before. But without question, I do believe the thing she has legitimately made the most in her... Actually, she's even made her white chicken chili in the slow cooker as well. So yeah, she uses it a lot. Without question, I do feel that the sort of mom food that she has made the most is nothing less than a simple pot roast. I realized it was about to rhyme, so I tried to make it rhyme. But yes, my mom has made pot roast so many times, and she pretty much always makes it the same. It's hardly anything different. I mean, where to even start? Well, first, here's what she does. She actually puts like all the vegetables on the bottom of the crock pot first. She'll get potatoes, some onions, some carrots. Only in recent years did she ever start doing celery for the traditional mirepoix. And then she puts the beef on top of the vegetables. Sometimes she'll use an eye around. In fact, I do believe she used an eye around last time. Sometimes she uses a full chuck roast. But her rationale is, as the meat is rendering in the crock pot, those juices are supposed to like coat over the vegetables and thus adding more flavor to the vegetables. At least that's her, I'm saying. Although, one thing that, because I actually read an article about this. Apparently, if you're going to make pot roast, you're actually supposed to like sear all your meat on like all the sides or whatever. And that's supposed to impart more flavor. Yeah, my mom has never done that. Not even a little. In fact, I do wager that it probably does nothing. So, with that being said, my mom has made it that way for many, 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 many years. And, oh, right. She'll also, but here's other things she'll do with it as well. She'll add like beef bouillon cubes or maybe some like beef stock, sort of put that in there, and when it's done, provided that, we actually ask for it or if you do want it, with all the juices that's left in the crock pot, after you take the meat out, you take all the vegetables out, and everything else that would be in there. Actually, the meat and the vegetables are all that would be in there, but you get the idea. You have all the juices left. If there's enough and she has like extra beef stock laying around, she will in fact actually make gravy, which I can't complain. I love me some gravy. Gravy's awesome. And then when it gets to dinner, man, it's great. The carrots, all my mom really ever did was like just chop them. I want to say she peeled them, but don't quote me on that. Like, all she did is like chop them, put them there. They've been in there long enough. They're super duper tender. I mean, I'd say they're easier to bite onto than like undercooked pasta, if that makes sense. Like, in a way, I guess you would say it's like al dente for a carrot, if you wanna call that, I suppose. Wow, al dente for a carrot. I don't think anyone on the internet's ever used that saying before. She just chops up the onions. They're not particularly big onions, really. They're just sort of your typical, like, chop an onion in half and just throw it in there. With that said, though, it's still really good. And, actually what I like to do is, because what she does is just chop up the onion and put it in there, if you get a whole onion on your plate, Here's what I like to do. I'll take like one of the layers of the onions, because as we all know from Shrek, onions do have layers. And I'll stuff like a carrot in that, and then I'll eat it. Or here's what I also like to do. Because the potatoes were cooked in there, I'll get like a fork and butter and some of the gravy, make that in the mashed potatoes, stuff that inside the onion petal. Oh, man, I don't even know what to tell you. I just go to town on that right there. And then there's the actual meat itself where, I mean, come on. It's pot roast. It gives you all that familiar flavor and smell that if you grew up having it, then you know exactly the sort of good time you're in for. Sometimes my mom will actually imbue some of the beef with garlic. So the garlic gets all roasted. And, oh, man. As if I couldn't give anyone more of a reason to love garlic. There you go. So, yeah. We actually just had that on Sunday. And I don't think I ever really talked about pot roast before. So it would make sense I talk about pot roast now. As for the guaranteed Mom Food Chronicle that's going to be on Thursday, well, I'll put it to you this way. If you know what tomorrow is, which, look at the tie, you probably should, then you know exactly what the Mom Food Chronicle is going to be. The difference is, I know I made like some sort, I know when I first, because only as of late have I really started posting, like, you know, my mom foods after I talked about them on my videos. This would be the first time where I'll have to take a photo of such said item that I'm having tomorrow. And I'm going to have to wait until after the Mom Food Chronicle to finally post it. Hopefully I'll remember to do it. Otherwise, I'll just have to, play it by ear. But it should be pretty good overall. And plus it involves a slow cooker again, which, I literally just, talked about it. So, yeah. Seriously, I really wasn't kidding when I said that the slow cooker is probably like the most easily, it's one of the most easily used kitchen appliances my mom has. I mean, she uses the oven, she uses, the stove. I mean, she has the refrigerator. Obviously, she would need to use that. But, looking back on it, I would say the ratio to stuff she's made without the crock pot and with the crock pot may not be that particularly wide of a margin. I mean, no, I've never actually chronicled how many times my mom has used a crock pot, but I can tell you that, actually what I can tell you is that if there was a series of crock pot mom foods, I'm sure someone could make a playlist of that. I don't really know if I could. Come to think of it, it never has occurred to my mom to try and make broccoli and Swiss cheese soup in that. Not that at the time I wanted to, but she probably could. I know she's made stuff like stews in there before, and soups in there before. So, it's definitely within the realm of possibility. This is definitely something interesting to think about. And I will need to really hunker down and focus on, what specifically, it is. Or, what... I have no idea what I'm saying anymore. Holy cow, I really am tired. I actually went to bed earlier than normal. And, I still wound up getting up at, let's say I got my 8 hours of sleep. This is definitely, seriously, it's just after 6:30 now. And yesterday I started the video, well over 15 minutes prior. Or 15 minutes after. So, yeah, it was 6:45, 6:46 when I started yesterday's video. And it's just now 6:30. And the video is, for the most part, just about done. Huh. Oh well. Although before I sign off, I do have to say, Jennifer Gardner is the newest guest on Hot Ones. Okay. I like Jennifer Gardner. Honestly, she's kind of known for being maybe some not great movies, but man, I still like her as an actress. I mean, she was great in Dallas Buyers Club. Dallas Buyers Club was the best movie I saw in 2014. Which is saying a lot because there's a lot of great movies. Seriously, 2014 was such a great year for movies that the Cinema Snob, instead of doing like a 10 best movies of the year list, he did a 20 best. That's how many good movies there were. Seriously, you had Grand Budapest Hotel, the Lego Movie, John Wick, I believe, came out that year as well. I mean, the list would just go, seriously, I actually need to find this video again and look up and see what great movies. Oh, right. Wait, no. No, wait, no. I'm wrong. Dallas Buyers Club was the best movie I saw in 2013. The best movie I saw in 2014 was Snowpiercer. Sorry. That's a brain fart on my end. I should remember this. Oh well. That's a great way to end the video on. Like, favorite, chat, subscribe, and follow me on social platforms. Notification on YouTube. I'm very home this video for all you guys watching today. Hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. And remember, if you guys want to talk to the channel, is going to be here letting you know what's back. Take care and make good choices. Have a nice day, everyone.